You're watching The Issue Is.
And do you think that it's respectful to come to the Oval Office of the United States of America and attack the administration that is trying to prevent the destruction of your country?
A lot of questions. Let's start from the beginning.
Sure.
First of all, during the war, everybody has problems. Even you, but you have nice ocean and don't feel now, but you will feel it in the future. God bless.
You don't know that.
God bless. God bless. You will not have a war.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
I'm not telling you.
Because you're in no position to dictate that.
That's exactly what you're doing.
Scenes from an unprecedented Oval Office meeting between President Trump, Vice President Vance, the president of Ukraine. Afterwards, President Trump canceling a press conference with Volodymyr Zelensky. Question is, where do we go from here? Joining us right now is the Democratic Congressman Robert Garcia from Long Beach, who is the lone Democrat on the DOGE subcommittee. Congressman, welcome back to The Issue Is.
Yeah, happy to be with you.
What went through your mind? You were watching that meeting live unfold.
It was very hard to watch. You showed a short clip of what was a very long exchange in the Oval Office, a very disrespectful exchange in the Oval Office. One where I think the president not only attacked, of course, Zelensky, but former President Biden, all sorts of other diplomatic efforts. And of course, I think would not and could not get himself to actually say that Vladimir Putin has actually been a horrific actor in all that is happening in Ukraine and across the world. And I think this is the exact type of conflict in our Oval Office that Vladimir Putin is sitting back and enjoying. And that, I think, was what's really dangerous about this moment, is that was disgraceful. It should not have happened. That's a conversation that should have happened behind closed doors. And I'm sorry that the president, the vice president, I think, unfairly attacked Zelensky. And I think that Zelensky we're now in a much more difficult position for diplomacy and for any kind of deal.
The president says it's good to do this out in public for everybody to see what's happening, that it's good to hash it out. What's wrong with that?
Look, I don't think it's ever positive to demean an ally and to belittle the leader of another nation in the Oval Office in front of the news. I think that was very disrespectful. I think that's the type of thing that does nothing to actually move diplomacy forward. And I'm hearing from both Republicans, by the way, and Democrats that are just very concerned about what happened in that meeting. And more importantly, Zelensky was there to try to come up with some kind of agreement with the White House. We have, and we've been very clear, that Vladimir Putin attacked Ukraine. And the fact that Donald Trump is unwilling to say that and willing to say and call Zelensky a dictator himself, and that somehow Ukraine provoked Putin to attack, I think is just really shameful. I think we need to be very honest about what happened. Russia attacked Ukraine. Ukraine has been trying to defend itself with the support of the United States and the world community, and Donald Trump is now undermining those efforts.
It's the politics of this is kind of strange, because you think about the Republican Party of Ronald Reagan's era, Gorbachev, tear down this wall. They were known for being the anti-Russia party. And some of the old school sort of country club Republicans have been huge advocates of Ukraine this entire time. And then you've got Trump, who is on a different page from them. Where does this go? Describe sort of the state of the politics of this in Congress behind the scenes right now.
Well, I hope that that we can come up to some kind of agreement to continue to support Ukraine. That is what we've been doing. We should continue to do so. At the same time, Ukraine has responsibility, of course, to work with the United States. That is really important. And it's very clear that Europe and the rest of the world is going to have to step up where and when the United States chooses to move and disengage with Ukraine. But with the bigger, more dangerous picture here is that we know that Putin is moving through Ukraine to continue his march to expanding his global footprint. He is a dictator. He's an authoritarian. He is someone that has done great harm to his own people. And we should not be celebrating Vladimir Putin. We should be able to be very clear, look the American people in the eye and say that he is no friend of the United States. And the fact that Donald Trump can't do that is concerning, by the way, not just to Democrats, but also to many Republicans.
Meanwhile, another big story happening in Washington is what's happening with Donald Trump and Elon Musk. Elon Musk running DOGE. You are the only Democrat on the DOGE subcommittee from California, sort of pushing back on some of what Elon Musk is doing. That committee, subcommittee, is chaired by Marjorie Taylor Greene of Georgia. Here is a moment from one of the hearings.
In the last Congress, Chairwoman Greene literally showed a pic in our oversight congressional hearing. So I thought I'd bring one as well. Now, this, of course, we know is President Elon Musk. He's also the world's richest man. He was the biggest political donor in the last election.
Do you really think Elon Musk is the president, or are you basically just trolling them for attention?
Elon Musk, for all intents and purposes, is the co-president of the United States. Look at the immense power that Donald Trump has given to Elon Musk. It is huge and very disruptive what Elon Musk is right now doing to all of our federal agencies. He is sending out emails, firing thousands and thousands of workers. He's going and cutting programs that he has no legal right to do so. And he's causing massive harm to the American public. And Donald Trump seems to have zero interest in guiding or providing any sort of direction to what Elon Musk is doing. And so absolutely, Elon Musk has been given the freedom to act as a co-governing partner to Donald Trump. There is absolutely no question. And we should be concerned. Look at just the FAA. I'm very concerned that now, through the DOGE efforts of Elon Musk, we have let go over 400 FAA safety technicians and workers at the same time that we're having very serious collisions and near misses in our skies and around our airports. We know that we need to be hiring more FAA air traffic controllers, not less. And to let go so many people, that's just one example, should be concerning all of us. It's the FAA. It's USAID. It's trying to eliminate the Department of Education, which provides, here in California especially, almost more support to families with disabled children than any other federal agency. And so these are the concerns that we have, and we have to be and demand more transparency from Elon Musk and Donald Trump.
And Elon Musk right now is refusing to even testify before your committee to answer questions about this, which I know is something that you are pushing back on. But that reminds us that the Democrats really don't have that much power right now in the House, the Senate, the White House, or even the Supreme Court. How do you stop this? What is the Democratic plan to fight back effectively and actually achieve results?
Well, I mean, look, I think part of what you said is absolutely right. Republicans control the White House, the House of Representatives, and the Senate. They just passed a budget framework that cuts Medicaid across the country, will cause massive damage in the years ahead with people losing Medicaid coverage. That's on the Republican Party, and we are strongly opposed to that. But we do have the ability to push back on some of the absolute worst policies and ideas that they have. And I'll give you a couple examples. When the Trump administration came forward and tried to cancel grants for nonprofits across the country, we got loud, we spoke out, we organized nonprofits, and they had to retract and push back. When Elon Musk sent his email just last week asking all federal employees to respond with the 5 things they did the week before, which was completely ridiculous, of course, we pushed back, made noise, and they retracted that effort. And so getting loud, being consistent, being tough, being aggressive does actually work. And this oversight is really, really important. The other option we have is the courts, and the courts have done, I think, a pretty solid job of pushing back on some of the worst ideas that Elon Musk has tried to put forward. But make no mistake about it, there's massive damage being caused right now to our federal institutions, and I fear a lot more is ahead of us.
On that budget framework, Republicans passed the outlines of that budget proposal this week. You said that it's going to cut Medicaid. My colleague in Bakersfield, Will Silverstein, spoke with Republican members from California, Vince Fong and David Valadeo. Here's their argument.
The president has been very clear that he does not want to change Medicaid and impact it in any way. And so look at the details. I think that the interesting thing about those who are criticizing the budget resolution is that they have not read it.
The piece of legislation will allow us to continue the positive tax bill that we passed that has a direct impact on people across the district.
So they're saying it won't cut Medicaid, read the bill, and it'll actually cut most people's taxes. What say you?
My colleagues have clearly not read the bill. Here's what's actually in the bill. First, there is a $4 trillion with a T set aside for massive tax cuts for the ultra wealthy. That is in the actual bill. There's basically a savings amount that they're trying to get to of approximately $4 trillion to try to give that away in tax cuts. In this budget framework, there's also $2 trillion that they're trying to get in savings and reductions for healthcare. There's no other way of actually getting healthcare savings reductions unless you go after Medicaid. That is actually what's in our federal healthcare system and how people are actually dependent on their healthcare system. That and Obamacare. And so absolutely they're going after Medicaid. And they may not want to call it and call out what they're actually doing, but that's what they're actually doing. And any independent organization will tell you this. They're going to have to actually vote at some point and put numbers to this actual budget in the near future. So I hope that our colleagues in California do the right thing and vote on those Medicaid cuts.
And if you do look at the independent analysis of this, if they're going to do it the way that they're talking about, there is basically no way to do it without cutting Medicaid, to your point.
That's exactly right. And they should be more honest with their constituents about what they're actually doing.
Let's talk immigration real quick. Border crossings have plummeted since Donald Trump took over. Isn't that a good thing that we're cracking down on illegal immigration?
Look, I think I've supported what President Biden did, which was, as you know, border crossings were coming down in the last year and a half, 2 years of the Biden administration. They were already coming down month to month to month because of additional measures that he put on. Of course, we do not want, and I agree, nobody wants, if you are here and you are causing crimes, if you are here causing problems in our country, nobody wants you in this country. We all agree with that. But of course, what the concern is there are people that are actually trying to arrive through legal asylum process that are now being denied that process. A system that was set up to allow them to actually apply for asylum, we're talking about people that are fleeing horrific conditions, has been shut down. So of course, there are going to be impacts to that, but everybody wants a safe and secure border.
As we wrap things up with a couple of quick questions, in a sentence, can you describe Donald Trump's job performance so far?
Disruptive and shameful.
Let's end with something fun. This is what we call personal issues, a chance to get to know some of your cultural favorites. We're going to put 30 seconds up, and this is the first thing that comes to mind. I know you're a big pop culture guy, which I appreciate. So here we go. What is the favorite TV show you've watched recently?
Favorite TV show I've watched recently would have to be, I just got caught up on Andor from Star Wars.
Okay, very nice. What is your favorite book you've read recently?
I'm actually reading right now A Siren's Call by Chris Hayes, and it's great so far, so really enjoying it.
The MSNBC host writing about the attention economy, which we know is in short supply. What's your favorite Oscar movie?
Honestly, it probably not going to win, but I love The Wicked. It's awesome.
There we go. I know you're a bit of a sci-fi guy. Do you have a favorite Star Trek character of all time?
Star Trek of all time is Jean-Luc Picard. No question. First of all, I've seen every single Star Trek show, every single movie. Next Generation can't be beat.
I totally agree with that. It's all about Captain Jean-Luc Picard. And this one is for you specifically. What is your favorite RuPaul Drag Race catchphrase?
Oh, man. If you can't love yourself, how are you going to love somebody else? Can I get an amen?
Amen. Congressman,
That's right. All right.
Thank you very much. Up next, we have Republican Sheriff Chad Bianco, who I don't think has a catchphrase, but he'll have a different view of the world. Congressman Garcia, thanks so much for being with us. We really appreciate the perspective.
Thank you.